So our group, like I said, group 3, our group is made up of Ria, myself, Raman, Steve, Wale, Zara, Uchi, and Hind. We had a great team, great communications throughout. Everybody helped each other and encouraged each other, so everything worked really smooth. So a little bit on Netflix, the business. I'm not sure if everybody's old enough to know how Netflix got their start. Netflix was founded in 1997 as a mail order subscription DVD company. The company used the customers would use the Netflix website, and they would choose DVDs, which were then mailed to their house. And then a prepaid return envelope was how they would send it back. Now let's fast forward to today, 2024, and Netflix is a global leader in streaming entertainment, boasting over 260 million paid memberships in over 190 countries. And members can enjoy on-demand viewing, uninterrupted playback. They can do this across multiple devices like TVs, phones, tablets, and computers, and flexible plans based on your financial needs. So Netflix churn rate, which refers to the percentage of subscribers who cancel their subscription in a given period, has been a topic of discussion lately. So that's what we were tasked with, how to get that churn down. So here's a summary of what we know. So recent trends, Netflix experienced a significant increase in churn in early 2022, which they attributed to factors like price hikes and a crackdown on password sharing. So today, Netflix estimated churn rate is about 3.1%. This is higher compared to pre-pandemic levels, but still lower than some of its competitors like Apple TV Plus and Hulu, for example. So the description, what we did was we gathered feedback and identified the biggest complaints from its customers. Then we made recommendations to address these issues and improve customer satisfaction. We suggested improvements to their products, services, and even their customer support process. Then we promised and we're continued to produce deliverables in the form of reports, charts, graphs, based on the data that we collected. As far as constraints, we addressed any limitation in data, and we discussed that up front. And lastly, we are in constant communication with the relevant teams within Netflix to implement our recommended solutions, while also being agile to refine our strategies based on feedback and evolving customer needs. So for our next slide, Ria is going to explain the context diagram.
So on this slide, based on the information Netflix provided us, we chalked out a data flow diagram about some key points, but not all, which were security issues, subscription changes, and the content. These were then addressed by our epics, stories, and tasks that each member of our team worked on. Moving forward, if we look at our definition of done slide, which gives us an overview about a bug that was encountered during our research. Basically, after creating an epic and stories, we came across a bug, which was a user saving a particular content in their favorites or watch list on Netflix, and then they were paying a fee for no ads. However, when they go back to view that content, it still came up with ads. So basically right now we're working on fixing that bug, which does not show up, leading to major complaints, because of course we do have subscribers paying for no ad fee. We then included a slide divided in 3 parts, which was our market research, customer research, and product research. If we look at them individually, our market research, Netflix analyzes its competitors like Hulu, Disney, and Amazon Prime. It also tracks industry trends to meet the needs of all age groups, generation, to increase and or to retain subscribers, which is why we see a global availability of content nowadays. Based on our recent view, Netflix has an algorithm which provides similar content for you to watch. For example, if you watch a show or a movie, Netflix will grab that algorithm and provide you with a feedback of what to watch next based on the same genre of movie or show that you watched. When it comes to customer research, Netflix has an ongoing survey which allows a user to like or dislike a content to gather feedback, which goes into most watched category. So if you open up your Netflix profile on the TV or your phone, you will see the third line would be the most watched one. So basically our public, our users, our subscribers are hitting that like button if it's a good show or a good movie. Then we came into our demographic analysis. Netflix segments its subscriber based on demographics such as the age, gender, location, and the viewing habits. Depending on, again, what shows you watch, it will give you some of the same genre content. Then if we look at our churn analysis, Netflix churn refers to the rate at which subscribers cancel their Netflix subscription. Churn is a crucial metric for subscription-based businesses like Netflix because it directly impacts revenue and growth. How churn indicates that customers are satisfied and more likely to retain subscription. Our mission here was to reduce the churn rate, and have more retained customers or subscribers and plus more new subscribers. If we look at their content development, Netflix has started investing in their content production based on audience preference, market trends, and data analysis. It's constantly emerging with new age times. It was the first streaming service to bring OTT movies on the theater movies from other countries during COVID, which Prime, Hulu did not do. It followed Netflix after that. Ria now will present our target customer and the following slides.
Thank you, Uchi. So let's dive into the key demographics that Netflix strategically targets. From a geographical standpoint, Netflix's presence spans around 190 countries. Netflix consciously embraces cultural diversity, making sure that its content resonates with a wide array of cultural preferences. And this positions Netflix as a platform with broad appeal. Examining demographics, Netflix focuses on a multi-generational audience. So while there is a strong emphasis on Gen Z and millennials, the platform also caters to Gen X and baby boomers, ensuring a broad user base across different age groups. In terms of socioeconomic factors, Netflix is accessible to a wide range of individuals from lower to middle class demographics. Similarly, the platform is designed to cater to viewers across different education levels, from those with no formal education to some college experience. Netflix's target audience exhibits specific psychographic traits, so users are characterized as tech-savvy individuals who appreciate the convenience of on-demand streaming. The platform accommodates the busy lifestyles of its users and attracts those who prioritize value in their entertainment choices. From a behavioral perspective, Netflix users are actively engaged with the platform. They are discerning consumers who seek content-driven experiences, contributing to the platform's success in the streaming landscape. So now let's delve into the cost estimation and expected return on the following slide. So some of the categories that we came up with were personnel, technology, training, marketing, communication, and miscellaneous expenses. The first category is personnel, which is anything that pertains to the costs associated with various team members, such as project managers, data analysts, software developers, customer support agents, and communication specialists. And they all play very crucial roles in different parts of the project, so their contributions are integral to its success. On to the technology costs, we're looking at the expenses related to adopting new software, tools, or infrastructure, which is essential for data analysis, product development, and enhancing customer support capabilities. Training is another key area of expenditure. We've allocated funds for training programs to make sure that staff, especially those who are involved with customer support or require new technical skills, are adequately equipped to contribute to the project's objectives. Next is marketing and communication. So this category encompasses the costs associated with promoting and informing consumers about the project improvements, which includes expenses for marketing materials, advertising campaigns, and any external communication channels that we would use to give that info to our audience. And lastly, we have accounted for miscellaneous expenses, which are unforeseen costs that may occur during the project. We just thought that it would be better to have a buffer category to make sure that we're prepared for any unexpected financial requirements that may emerge. Moving on to the expected returns from the project efforts, we've identified some key areas where we can expect positive outcomes. So the first major benefit we expect is a reduction in customer churn. By addressing common complaints and enhancing the overall user experience, we hope to retain more subscribers, which in turn translates to increased subscription revenue, and that's a very crucial metric for our success. Next, we expect a notable increase in customer satisfaction. A happier customer base tends to result in positive word of mouth, which not only helps in retaining existing customers, but also attracts new ones. And ultimately, this positive feedback loop contributes to sustained growth and success. Improving the efficiency of our customer support processes is not just about addressing issues promptly, it also has financial implications. So streamlining these processes and reducing the volume of complaints can lead to significant cost savings in the long term, which would also contribute to operational efficiency. And enhancing customer satisfaction isn't just about the immediate gains, it extends to building a stronger brand reputation. So a positive image in the eyes of our customers would have lasting effects, and it fosters customer loyalty and solidifies our position in the market, which could have enduring benefits for Netflix. So next I'll be talking about release milestones. And on the next slide, you'll find a screenshot of our 3 releases. So as you can see, we are still in progress on the first release, which ends on March 31st. Second one ends on June 30th, and our third release ends on September 30th. So our release evaluation phase includes a multifaceted approach from user acceptance testing with users to monitoring system performance and gathering internal stakeholder feedback. We're committed to thoroughly assessing the impact of our improvements. And this plan outlines a structured approach to implementing various improvements to the Netflix customer feedback system within a defined timeline, allowing for efficient development and evaluation of the new features. So as we move on to the following slide, we will discuss the success criteria that'll gauge the effectiveness of our improvements to the Netflix platform. The goal is not only to enhance usability, but also to drive member engagement and retention. So our first success criteria revolves around member engagement and retention. We expect that improvements to the Netflix platform's usability will directly impact these numbers. A more user-friendly interface should enhance the overall experience, which would make it more attractive for members to stay engaged and continue their subscription. Another key metric in our success criteria is the feedback on our improved UI. We measure this through user feedback on various UI enhancements, such as ease of navigation, search functionality, and content discovery. A positive response in these areas contributes to an improved platform attractiveness reflected in more positive customer feedback and increased user involvement. And another measure of success lies in the average time users spend watching content on Netflix. An increase in this metric indicates that users not only find the platform engaging, but are actively consuming content. And that's a clear indication of the impact that our improvements would have on user satisfaction and content consumption. And lastly, as more people watch content on Netflix, viewer ratings are expected to go up. So this positive feedback loop brings in new customers, which would expand our user base and ultimately increase revenue. And the success of our efforts would be measured by this tangible impact on revenue by making it the ultimate measure of success for our improvements. And Zara will now be talking about the Jira dashboard.
Thank you, Ria. So here is our Jira dashboard, which is a great and easy tool to use collaboratively to build the report we wanted. So first chart on the left is displaying the average time spent in a status for all resolved issues over the past 7 days. Second one is our workload pie for our Netflix project, which is an excellent tool to visualize the time logged on tasks and issues under this sprint against assignee. And the third gadget displays a bar chart showing the average number of days for which issues are in unresolved state on the last 7 days. Coming is our slide concerning the the team capacity versus velocity. And this slide represents our workload pie chart, which illustrates the actual time the team invested toward our project. So on the left is the pie chart, then the data table on the right showing teams' hours contributed to the project. Our upcoming slide has the burn-up chart. Upcoming slide, please. Okay, and this so this is the upcoming slide. It has like the burn-up chart, which presents the roadmap that plots our work on two lines along virtual axis. One line indicates the entire workload for the project, whereas the green one depicts the work completed thus far. So this tool has permitted us early detection of issues, determination on approximate completion dates, and easily mark any scope changes and match them to the team's progress. Thank you for listening and watching.
First of all, excellent slide, guys. You did a good job in a content. Definitely the slide is very professional touch. So whoever has contributed in slides, awesome job. And everyone, I think, participated very actively. The voice is very clear, very confident. Uchita, I think first time you're presenting, so I'm hoping you're enjoying this, and same thing for Ria maybe. But overall, good job. So now question for you.
Thank you.
Why Netflix? Why not others? What was the reason for selecting Netflix?
We brainstormed through some ideas about air fryers, baby products, even airlines. But when we jot down into a streaming service, we decided Netflix because it was one of the oldest streaming channels, and like it was presented in one of our slides, that how it has established and it has evolved with the generation, with the new times. It started off with users ordering DVDs, and Netflix would send it to them, and then you have to send it back. I remember that 10 years ago, that was the thing. And now we're able to watch global content on Netflix. It could be anime, it could be Bollywood movies, it could be Korean shows. Everything is available on Netflix. Where it comes to Prime, Hulu, HBO, there we don't see that much of a content base unless you pay an extra fee. So that's why we decided to go with Netflix.
Very good. Question. I think one of the slide when I believe Ria was saying the comparison, like if you do this action, you will see this return. My question is how much investment you have to do, and what is the confidence that you will get return?
Well, we gathered all the most popular, or not popular, but the most complained about issue from Netflix. And so that's what we built our epics on, and our stories was how we're going to resolve it, how we're going to test it. So we know that if we tackle their top 3 problems, that we would, be able to keep that churn number down. So that was our goal. That's how we attacked it, was to address their top 3, and by default we'd get a return on it by just improving. Keeping their churn number down means more subscribers and more money in Netflix pocket.
Any projections or forecasting? How much investment versus how much churn rate down? Any calculations you or team did? The reason I'm saying, if I spend $1 million and if I can save 250,000, that may not be the value, right?
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, the problem with that was we didn't have the actual Netflix. We weren't privy to that information, so I don't know. In fear of just throwing some numbers out there. We just kind of, would talk about our plan, but yeah, we did not get into specific numbers because we didn't have those.
Got it. So
Tom, can I add something why we choose Netflix? Because as she mentioned, like it was like a spike during the COVID, but after 2022, the company lost so many users. It's almost like 2 million that they lost. So we focused like on finding solution, like why people are dropping Netflix and finding like ways for them, like, to keep the customers that you already have and encourage more customers to join in. So like keeping the customers was like our first priority. That's why we focus on.
excellent. So I know seems like everyone really good job in transitioning, moving from one slide to another slide or one person to another person. So how did you guys communicate and how did you plan for such kind of good presentation?
We did WhatsApp. We communicated through WhatsApp. We did also Zoom. We did Webinex, and sometimes like when somebody has like an emergency and cannot like attend, we made sure to record the meeting and make it available for him in WhatsApp to watch later on when he has time to.
Very good. Now, last but not least question, like let's say if we show this presentation to some of the Netflix key stakeholder and they like your proposal because the content and all, what are the risks you are anticipating in order to implement this proposal?
Well, I would say the risk is in real life, there's so many customers. So we would have to be tasked with, how could we create so much data? Because, assuming they wouldn't give us access to real customer information. So just creating data, performing the proper performance and load testing, that's just, they're huge. So that would be our biggest risk, is to make sure we could properly cover it, and time zones, and just, put all that, what happens if it goes offline, just to think about every single thing, to test. That would be pretty daunting. It'd be huge, but that would be our biggest risk, is do we have the coverage?
Very good. So give a big round.
Welcome you to our Agile Scrum Jira project, Fun Streaming, with work presented by Boyana, Fahim, Jashir, myself, Manal, and Natalia. For a business overview, Fun Streaming is a digital entertainment platform-based model. It offers all ages strong content offerings by partnering with content providers. Our platform generates revenue through advertising partnerships, sponsorships, and a possible future premium offering. Fun Streaming is committed to innovation, creativity, and strives to be at the forefront of the digital entertainment industry by delivering compelling content and engaging experiences that captivate and delight our audience and meet the evolving needs of youth. For our project overview, we want to tell you the who, what, why, and when. For who, we want users, content creators, and advertisers. What, it's going to be digital. It's going to be a digital entertainment platform with videos, books, audio, and advertising. Why? To cater to diverse interests and preferences, providing affordable entertainment options. When? Ideally, we would like to launch this late October, but we are in the mindset if we launch in early November due to development difficulties, we would be happy with that as well. Now I want to present our context diagram. We have 4 different actors that are interacting with our system. And we have our admin, whose main function is to manage users. We have our users who do not have any accounts that interact with content in a single session. We have a content provider who upload and track their content and would see their metrics based on the advertisements that are played. And we have our registered users who interact with content across sessions. So for this project, we put together a definition of done for items within a sprint. The first thing we had to discuss was that all development work on the story has to be complete. Testing of story features have to be complete within the dev environment. Any bugs related to the story feature have been fixed and retested. Story features are not broken by further development in a sprint. The story feature is moved into QA. A smoke test is run on QA to ensure no past work has been impacted. The story and all tasks are in done status in Jira, and the product owner and stakeholders relevant approve work done in the demo or sprint, or not retrospective, sprint review. All right, I'd like to put it over to Natalia for our presentation.
Thank you, Jeff. So for our project, we have to conduct multiple researches. And we had to do research on competitor analysis, the first one. What we did was we analyzed competing streaming apps in terms of content offerings, features, pricing, user experience, and market positioning. What makes our app different is that we offer diverse content free of charge and no mandatory account signups. Target audience research. We understood our audience, who they are, demographically, including age, gender, location, income level, and interest. To understand our customer pattern, we had to conduct surveys, focus groups, gather insights into our user preferences and behaviors. Product. Our product has to be different and with many advantages to compete. So we provide rich variety of content, better and richer than our competitors. The user interface is of navigation, consumer quality, device compatibility, pricing, and our cases for free, and performance. These factors make our product better than others in the eyes of users. That leads us to target customers. And the target customers are members of the general public. These are families with kids, general entertainment enthusiasts, young adults and millennials, and cord cutters, which is people who don't use traditional cable TV subscriptions. The next one is tech savvy users, individuals interested in cutting-edge technology, personalized recommendations, social sharing features, and immersive user experiences. Also, we have computers and travelers, people who appreciate our streaming app with offline viewing capabilities. And also affluent consumers. Affluent consumers with high disposable incomes are more likely to pay for premium content offerings. Now, I would like to talk about product roadmap. We have 3 releases with sprints of 2 weeks. We have 2 development teams. In the first release, we have 2 teams focused on Epic 1, 2, and 5. In the second, we have Epic 3, 4, 6, 7. And it's all, of course, it's all according to our client's priorities and needs. And the first release is for the shorter time frame of development. Release 3 is shorter than 3 releases. Plus, we want to go live in October, maybe early November. Now, let's move over to page 3. Thank you, Sarah. Having a great presentation. My job is to bring how to make profitable, maximize profit for this business, what we're trying to do. First of all, I talk to my group, bring the right numbers of initial costs, and I will make guaranteed profitable business
try to collect revenue from bringing the advertisement, sponsorship, per click view we can do. And then moreover, we can bring the green, getting premium services offered down the road. Initially, we're offering free streaming services, but our reason to get premium service offered down the road and make more money. Also, initially, Jeff discussed about the content writer. So we are actually get more expense towards that great content, putting in this app, so that way we can generate more revenue, getting better advertisement. And then getting a better return on our down the road when we sell. It is a valuable application, so we can make money. All 5 of us, 6 of us can split whatever we pay the initial cost. So we can go over with how we did the capacity over velocity. So capacity, we tried to do bring all developed people together. Sorry about that. And then find out their skill and how many hours they can work, and then get the estimation of that. So we don't have any experience to find out from the first sprint, so that way it's hard to predict over velocity. That is my explanation over capacity or velocity. And I would hand over to my partner, Norman Shah. Thank you for listening, guys.
Thank you so much to my team, and thank you, Jesse, for handing over to me. See, my role is how to get the success criteria here. So our criteria for success, we decide how we provide the best customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is important because it illustrates whether your customer base like what you are doing. Research shows that high satisfaction leads to the greater customer retention, higher lifetime value, and stronger brand reputation. We would like to do the metrics and active user percentage. It's like daily active user and monthly active user. We would like to track that. And for this averaging, we can calculate our ratio and how we are getting our customer on a daily basis. We would like to measure or metric also the session duration. This metrics like the traffic of the daily active users can be provided by the product analysis tool and tracks the digital product users in terms of the time. This can be calculated by the total time spent by the user divided by the number of the user. We also would like to track the bounce rate. Bounce rate is a metric for seeing how many people left our website or app after visiting only one page. This is important because you want to know if people find your site interesting or useful. Like traffic, a product analysis tool also provides this metric. We would like to create last and all the secure and reliable system. We would like to make our users full secure. We would like to develop the security system that able to identify the risk early on and develop the mitigation strategies. I would like to introduce my team as well. We have a team, Jeffrey, Jayshree, Natalia, Fahim, and myself, Mono. We work together to make this project successful. I will hand it over to Jeff for the review.
Yes, I'm going to give us a short demo of our Jira application. First, I set up a filter to display all of our epics. Now, something that you might not know about filters is that you can do export of your filter results into Excel. By clicking this icon here, you can get an Excel report that looks something like this, and minus the story points, because that's what the work we put into this. We were doing playing poker, and we just wanted a quick spreadsheet to reference each of the items we were working on. But if you were thinking, oh, well, I'm not seeing the details of the Jira item that I'm looking for, you can just click on the key and it'll bring you right to that item in Jira. Okay. So then this is going to be a snapshot of sprint 1 of Team 2's work. So we came up with all of the stories for the first release of the 2 epics that were discussed. And here is the JQL query. We then have our backlog. First, we have our backlog for sprint 1, which is active and we are working on it. Then we put together the second sprint as well. The first sprint has a reduced capacity because of it being the first sprint and people are still learning the system. We also have a backlog of items that are to be worked on. So this is our sprint board. As you can see, we have 4 stories in there, but we broke them into tasks. We broke them into common tasks for the exercise. And we did that, assigned hours to those so that they could be tracked. Then in Zephyr, we put together 3 test cycles. We made all of our test cases and put subfolders together. Put 1 per epic and then broke it down by sprint. Our test cycles are run in a way where we have the item that was tested, then all the other items in the sprint to make sure no other items that were recently developed have any issues with them. Then we put together a small report based on the results of our test cases. This is one of the available default templates in Zephyr. Lastly, we put together a dashboard for sprint 1, and we have our burn down chart. As you can see with our burn down chart, it's not going to look like a normal burn down chart for the reason of we had to compress this, what should have been a 2-week sprint, into about 5 days of execution. We have an average time that an item would be in a certain status. So we have, of course, to do is a little higher, but it came down when everything was done. And we have what was in progress as well. We have our test execution metrics. If anything had failed, it would show here as well. And we did this per test cycle. The last thing we put up here is our activity stream. This will tell us whenever any item in the sprint has changed. Now I would like to thank you for attending our presentation and ask if there are any questions.
First of all, can I give a background? Excellent, overall excellent teamwork. I can see like everyone participate actively, everyone has a very clear voice. And the most important thing, I like to follow your slide because it's simple, easy, and very powerful. Question, how you came up with this brilliant idea about streaming? Go ahead.
Yeah, so we had to find time to get together with you that would brainstorm. Each of us, every single member had to come up with ideas. And then we had to come to a conclusion. And we decided to choose a one.
Very good.
One thing I want to note is the first one we picked kind kind of was already taken in a way, we realized, and then we pivoted also on our second meeting. So we had a number of apps that we think, ideas that we were thinking of, and we went through all those ideas.
Mhm.
So everyone had their input into what we were doing. We also know that there is a library system
Mhm.
similar to this, but there's nothing for the general public because there are people out there that don't have access to libraries because they live in unincorporated areas. And for that, they'd have to pay hundreds of dollars just to access a local library.
Mhm. Very good, very good.
That's why I couldn't like a smart person from the IT expert or something.
So,
Ready for it.
so while you're doing this thing, right, I like what you did. What are your risks and how you mitigate the risk?
I think the risks are content providers not buying in, and one way you can mitigate that is doing a total revenue share. Because so there, as long as it's being seen, we
Mhm.
were thinking a 50-50 revenue split with the content provider based on the advertising rates we get. So they're not risking anything. We're just putting the content up there. If it's viewed, they're getting money. So as long as they have compelling content, they're getting money.
So in your context diagram, I saw you have many persona, right?
Yes.
So this is kind of catch-22 type of model, right? Example, I want to put advertisement, but do you have customers? And if you say your customers, but do you have content? How would you do this triangle, right? Content provider come up with the content, then you need a subscriber, and then you need a sponsor. So how would you do this?
You're gonna get buy- The first thing you have to do is get buy-in from content provider.
But in that case, you will be investing money, right? It won't,
Yes.
no one will be giving you free, right?
Yes. If anyone else.
That's why we needed stakeholders.
No, stakeholders are there, but think about I'm trying to compare, not in an easy way, but Netflix, take an example as a Netflix, looks like your model will kind of streaming, right? So Netflix has a series, movies, and dramas, and events, and other things, right? Why would somebody create for you? What's the difference you are providing? What the benefit they will get?
A, the ability of free streaming. B, we're doing multiple streaming types
Mhm.
under one roof. We're doing book streaming, we're doing music streaming, we're doing, multiple streaming types
Mhm.
under one roof, where everyone else is just kind of fractured and like, who wants to go to a million different services if you can go to one stop and just get everything you need there?
Very good, very good.
And collecting the more audience
Mhm.
with the free services.
Mhm.
And they want a premium services, then they have to pay for it. Otherwise, they can come, they can read books, enjoy music, all free. So that's why we can easily get users, and then we can get back.
Very good. And now the timeline, I think you mentioned about timeline. I like the overall presentation because I can follow the timeline. So let's say if I give you extra time or you get extra time for implementation, what would be realistic timeline look like for your version 1?
For our version 1, we were realistically trying to get a version 1 in the fall because that's around the same time people go back to school,
Mhm.
new television cycles start, and people are thinking about entertainment. And the holidays start coming around as well.
Mhm.
So everyone's thinking about entertainment at that point, and then once you kind of ramp up, then you're thinking winter. Everyone's going to be in for the winter, around here at least. In the northern part of the country, more people are going to be inside, and family gatherings. So there's word of mouth. There's I'm on break for this, so I can just go to my computer and read a book or something. And
So perfect timing, right? Very good. Overall, I like about overall team effort, communications and all. So how did you plan this thing? PowerPoint, everyone's contributions, transitions?
We were talking, discussing, and we get over with that. We define WebEx, so we each one. We put some times, all four of us. Mine's usually at work, so we come sometimes by on the left. So all four of us work that way that we have to afford, according to her time. Jeff and we did at night, like in the afternoon, Saturdays, after I finished my database, right away. So 1 hour, more than 1 hour, like almost like hour and a half.
So what